All right, guys. All right. Welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Yeah, guys, my lovely viewers. Yes, guys. Yes. Today's video, I will be looking at something very new and promising. All the while you've not seen me posted any video is because I've been in the background updating, updating and trying to bring up something you know, something sustainable to my fans, my lovely fans, because I'm at the point where I feel DevOps, DevOps is now losing it in the sense that DevOps is becoming saturated, all right? And one technology, right, one methodology that is now overtaking is trying to overtake DevOps is MLOps. All right, guys, is what MLOps, which is machine learning operations. All right, so this is going to be the new DevOps, guys. Take it or you leave it. This is going to be the new machine learning. All right. And in this, there are a whole lot, guys, a whole lot. So this is what I've been up to for quite some time. And that's why you've not seen me done any recording on DevOps systems administrations related. Right. So today we will be looking at something very important in the context of machine learning operations, and that is called Kubeflow. Kubeflow. So, what actually is Kubeflow? Though I have gone a bit higher, but bear with me because I will still have to come lower in the sense that I'll I have to go. I'll still have to go through the the beginning phase of machine learning operations of MLOps. But I see it necessary to talk about Kubeflow. All right. So what is Kubeflow? So Kubeflow is a tool. All right. Let's put this down there. So Kubeflow is a tool used for deploying machine learning workloads into a what? A Kubernetes cluster. Yes, you heard me right. You heard me right. So this is what a Kubeflow is used for. Now, why Kubeflow? Naturally, all right, integrating other tools like ML Flow, like ML Flow or TensorFlow with Kubernetes, with Kubernetes, all right, is not straightforward. It's not straightforward, and I've not tried it. I've not gone this route. I don't know if I'll go this route someday, but for now, I don't wish to go this route. All right, I don't need to go to this route because it's not a friendly route. However, however, CNCF, all right, the cloud native, they came up with this wonderful tool called what? Kubeflow. Since they are the owners of Kubernetes, right? They are the owners of Kubernetes, right? They deem it necessary, okay? They deem it necessary. for we to be able, all right, to make Kubernetes more attractive, all right, we need to bring up a tooling that will enable engineers deploy machine learning workloads seamlessly, right, on Kubernetes. That was how Kubeflow was given birth to, right? So Kubeflow runs as it has a lot of components, all right? It has what? A lot of components, which we'll look into briefly. It has a lot of components. And these components, the beauty of it is that these components could be installed independently as a standalone. This component could be installed as a as a complete platform, right? As a what? A complete platform on Kubernetes, right? So Kubeflow has components. You have the pipeline components, you have the data engineering components, you have a whole lot of components. Now, Kubeflow again is a platform. Now, like I said, I should have gone through machine learning, but that would be a different topic entirely. All right, that would be a different topic entirely. So Kubeflow, right, is a complete platform. It's a complete platform for managing managing machine learning workflows. Now, when I talk about managing machine learning workflows, in when I talk about machine learning workflows, okay, in in deploying machine learning models, all right, there are steps, all right, there are machine learning life cycle processes that you need to follow. Let's look at that briefly. All right. Let's look at that briefly. So I say ML life cycle. ML life cycle. So in the context of ML life cycle, there are stages. Generally, all right. There are what? There are stages. Let's go to images. All right. So this is a typical life cycle of machine learning. All right. So the first stage is your data, gathering your data, right? Your data source. Where is your data source? Second stage is your data preparation, cleaning the data, making, you know, preparing the data preparation. And the next step is, is what we call data wrangling. Data wrangling is a second level towards data preparation. Then after that, you want to look into some data analysis, all right? Do some data work, yeah. And after data analysis, then you want to train a model from the data set, right? Though this data analysis stage, data wrangling, they are optional, right? They are optional, okay? But this process had to add it. Then training the model, all right? In course of training the model, all right, you have a data set. Based on your data set, you train the model. Then you also have, based on your trained model, you test, right? You test your model with based on your original data set, right? After that, you now deploy the model, right? So there are other processes that is smaller than this. This is about 7 stages, all right? So if I check this other one, it says problem definition. Okay, yeah, let me check this other one as well. Okay, this has to go from data to ML to development and to operations. right? So this life cycle, everything you see in the machine learning life cycle is obtainable within Kubeflow. What that means is that a Kubeflow is an all-encompassing platform. It has everything you need to deploy a machine learning workflow. That is what a Kubeflow is all about. However, today's lecture, today's video is I just want to show us a glimpse of Kubeflow pipeline. All right. So I'm going to target as understanding Kubeflow pipeline. Right? Because I want to touch up things. I want to touch up things, right? I want to take up things to the next level, right? Maybe in my next video, I want to take my time, all right, and talk more about Kubeflow, all right. Now, but in this video, everything I'm going to talking about Kubeflow will be top level, right? Top level. But I will go into more detail in Kubeflow pipeline. So Kubeflow pipeline is one of the components of Kubeflow. So let's quickly look at Kubeflow pipeline. Kubeflow components. All right. So Kubeflow has a lot of components. Let's look at this diagram. Let's look at this diagram. Yeah, so let me expand. Great. Now, as you can see now, these are the components of Kubeflow. All right. You have um you have the pipeline, you have okay, I'm not getting wait, let me look at something else. um Wait, let me, all right, so this is what I need. This is what I need. All right, so this is from Kubeflow themselves. All right, now in the Kubeflow projects, these are the components. So this is the ecosystem, Kubeflow ecosystem. All right, so the components, so you have the Kubeflow pipeline, Kubeflow notebooks, you have the Kubeflow dashboard, you have Kubeflow trainer for training your data sets, Kubeflow kit katib, Kubeflow MPI operator, Kubeflow kserve for her, Kubeflow model registry, Kubeflow spark operator. All right, so you can see there are about almost 9 components of Kubeflow, and all of these components, they go through the normal life cycle of what, of machine learning, right? They go through the normal life cycle of machine learning. Like I said, guys, right? Today's lecture is not about Kubeflow, all right? But just to give you heads up of what Kubeflow is all about. That's why I just need, let me just touch it a bit. All right. Rather, today's lecture is about Kubeflow pipelines. Right. And like I said, a Kubeflow is a tool for deploying machine learning workloads into a Kubernetes cluster. Right. So I just want to get us up and running and understanding Kubeflow pipeline. Just a pipeline. Right. So that being said, here are my deliverables, right? Here are my deliverables. Deliverables. Now, what I'm going to do in today's video. So first thing first, because I'll be writing a Kubeflow pipeline, right? Now also I'll be installing Kubeflow. It means I'll have a Kubernetes cluster. So I'm going to have set up a Kubernetes cluster. So for simplicity, I'll be using kind. All right, I'll be using kind to set up Kubernetes cluster. Right. So what is kind? Kind is Kubernetes in Docker. It's an acronym. All right. So Kubernetes. All right, in Docker. So that is the acronym of kind. Now, after installing Kubernetes, all right, sorry, after installing kind, we'll use kind to create a cluster. The moment we create a cluster, voila, we are good, right? So kind comes with a whole lot of features, all right? Comes with a whole lot of features. Now, after that, what else? What else? Then we are good. Now, install Kubeflow pipeline. Kubeflow pipeline, pipeline component, right? Component on your what? On your cluster, on your cluster, right? On your cluster. After that, we can now go ahead and write a simple keep write a simple Kubeflow pipeline. Simple Kubeflow pipeline for addition um subtraction of two numbers. Addition, subtraction of what? Two numbers. Two numbers. Right? All right. So let's see how far we can go. So first and first, we need to set up what? Kind. Now, I've already set up kind in my environment. I'm using Windows. I'm using Windows. So let me bring up my terminal. Oh, sorry. Let me bring up my terminal. PowerShell. CMD. I'll be running CMD as an administrator. Okay. So I've already set up on this my machine. This is my Windows machine. I need to set up other things. Okay. Um, um, Prerequisites. Let's look at prerequisites. Come in. Deliverables. You need to install kubectl, right? All right. So when I go ahead to install kind is going to install for me Docker desktop, right? Docker desktop. It comes with a whole lot of packages. All right. Um, great, great. So I'll just show you the documentation because I've already installed um kind. So if you can, it's very simple, guys. So you can see cube ctl kubectl cluster dash info. So you can see my Kubernetes control plane is running at the local host. All right, coordinates is that and blah blah blah. So if I also type kind in my environment here, I will see that I already have the kind binary already running. So if I can say kind version, right? So I'm running kind version 0.27, right? So my installation of kind was simple because I made use of a tool called Chocolatey, right? So let me put this here. So it will be nice for you to use Chocolatey. So Chocolatey is a package installer for Windows. So what is Chocolatey? Chocolatey is a package manager, right? For what? For Windows. For Windows. Okay, it's a package manager for Windows. So the first thing you need to do is you need to install Chocolatey. So let's come back here as well. You see, I have another requirement. Install Chocolatey. Chocolatey, right? So you have to install what? Chocolatey. So to do that, you go to Google and say install Chocolatey CMD, right? Install Chocolatey CMD. So you're going to get let's look at the documentation on Windows. Install Chocolatey on Windows, all right? So there are a whole lot, guys. Let's go to the bottom. All right. So first thing first, if you're using PowerShell, right, you need to set your execution policy. All right. After that, because everything's already here, just copy everything here. Copy everything, guys. Once you copy all of this thing you're saying here should install Chocolatey for you, right? You should install what? Chocolatey. And once Chocolatey has been installed, you can see run the following command in Windows Shell. If there are no errors, Chocolatey will be installed. You can verify installation using the Choco or Choco command. All right, so you can verify your installation. So if I come over here and I say Choco, because I already have it, I hit enter, it shows me that Chocolate version 2.4.3 is already installed on my machine. Now, if I need help, I can say Choco dash question mark, enter. All right, and I'll get some help on what how to use Chocolate. All right, great, great guy. So now, once you've installed Chocolate, yes, that once you install Chocolate, then you can now go ahead to use Chocolate to install kind. So this is how you do it. You say what? Choco install kind. I don't want to run this command because I've already installed a cluster. My cluster is already there. All right. So Choco install kind. Choco install kind is going to what? Install your Kubernetes cluster using kind. So this also will install Docker desktop. This process will install Docker desktop because kind requires Docker desktop. All right. And every other images, Docker desktop will do all of that. All right. So kind comes with a lot of images. So the Docker desktop has to be there and be running to manage all the images that will be installed within your cluster. So once all of that has been um, fulfilled, the next step now is we now have a running cluster. All right. So now we need to install Kubeflow Pipeline as a standalone component on our cluster. Right now, how do we do that? Let's go to Google. Now I'll come to the Kubeflow documentation. You can see here now. This is the Kubeflow documentation, right? So I'll go to what getting started, or I'll come to installing Kubeflow. Let me start all over. I'll come here and say Kubeflow, right? So I'll go to straight. I can go to Kubeflow pipelines, right? But let me show you how to navigate the documentation because when I got started, it took me some time to actually understand the documentation. So that's what I want to take you through so that you will also understand how to navigate within the Kubeflow documentation. So I'll click on what get started. So get started brings me here. All right, so I'm now going to what installing Kubeflow. Click on installing Kubeflow. Now, installation method. There are two ways. All right, one is a standalone Kubeflow component. Now, what that means is that I showed us the Kubeflow component already, right? So what it means is that Kubeflow, all right, has this component, all right? So if you don't want to install the entire platform, the entire Kubeflow platform, you can install the components one after the other, depending on your usage and your use case, right? Let's look at the components. Open a new tab. You can see these are the different components of Kubeflow. We have the KSAV, Kubeflow Kati, model registry, ML operator, Kubeflow pipelines, Spark operator, Kubeflow trainer. This is the component. And here is the corresponding machine learning lifecycle stage. What it does model serving, it does model optimization and auto ML. It does model registry, it reduces model training. There's MPI. It's 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 machine learning workflows and schedules. It does machine learning workflows and schedules. That's the pipeline. Then Spark operator, it does what data preparation. Then trainer, it does model training and large language models fine tuning, LLM fine tuning, right? So you can see, and the source code, these are the source code, right? So you can see how beautiful is. This is standalone. Now, if you want to install the entire platform, guys, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. Now, there are different platforms. There is EKS. If you need to install it on Amazon Kubernetes Service, here it is. You need to install it on GKE, IKS, IBM Cloud Kubernetes Service, Azure Kubernetes Service, and a lot of Kubernetes environments. OpenShift is there, and VMware vSphere, right? And this is a manifest for installing the entire platform. Okay, so I won't go into that detail now, right? Maybe in a separate video, I will talk about how to install Kubeflow components. Sorry, install Kubeflow entire platform, not just component by component. But in today's video, I'm just concerned about Kubeflow pipeline, right? So I'll be installing only the Kubeflow pipeline components, all right, as a standalone. So what we'll now do is the pipeline is here. So click on the pipeline. It takes us to the guide. Simple, guys, simple. You don't have to do anything, all right? So because I'm using Windows, I can't export this environment variable. So, all right, now deploy the Kubeflow pipeline, guys. Just it's very simple, guys. Very simple. Now, what you do because you've installed kubectl, remember you must install kubectl in your Windows environment. I'm using Windows, guys. All right. So if you're using Linux or you're using Windows subsystem for Linux on Windows, that's okay, right? And if you're using VMware and on your VMware you've installed either Ubuntu or Linux or any other Linux distribution, you can use this method. All right, it will go for you. Now, because I'm using Windows, I didn't use this export. So what I did is I had to append this version 2.4 at the end of this first line. All right, so at the end of this first line, it's going to ask for the pipeline version, right? So I had to append 2.4.0. So you copy this first line and bring your terminal. Guys, you don't need to do much. Your cluster, you're already in your cluster. Your cluster is running locally. Locally. Your cluster is running locally. All right. So you come over here and you paste that guy. Just copy this, copy, come here, and you paste it. You paste it. All right. You paste it, and so what you just do, just make this change. I told you about this change. So what you just do here, 2.4.0, and hit enter. All right, it will install the first phase. I don't want to do it because I've already done it. Right, great. Now the second thing you will do the same thing. You copy this. I don't want to run this command because it's going to run directly. You run it. Then the last phase, you copy this. All right, you make the same changes you did. Come over here. You paste that. Sorry. Right, and you do the same thing. All right, you impede your 2.4.0. That is all, guys. I don't want to execute that statement, right? Because I've already done it. So once you've done it, this is what you see. You come over here and say kubectl gets pod in where? In namespace, the Kubeflow namespace. But before I do that, let's check the namespaces that we have already. So kubectl gets namespace. So these are the namespace I have on my cluster, right? I have my default namespace, kube node lease, kube public, kube system, kubeflow, local path storage, right? So the moment you install, you set up kube kind, right? Kind will create these other namespaces, kube system and all of that, all right? Now I can check for my pod, kubectl get pod in which namespace? In the Kubeflow namespace. Now I have all of these. You can see, okay, I've run some pipelines. All right, I've run some pipelines. So these pipelines they get created right in my cluster, and once the execution of the pipeline, is completed, right? So these containers, all right, this pod, they get terminated, right? So that's why you're seeing all of these over here. Now you can see, let's look from here. You can see these are all the pods that get supporting pods that get installed in my cluster as a result of executing the Kubeflow pipeline, right? So the major thing that we need here is a Kubeflow pipeline. These are all the Kubeflow pipeline containers, right? Kubeflow pipeline containers. Okay. So once you've installed, you've run this Kubeflow pipeline component, all right, and you go to your cluster and say kubectl get pod in namespace Kubeflow, you get all of these. All right, great guys, great. The next thing we'll do is you say kubectl get service in the same namespace kubeflow. So these are your services. So you have your cache server, you have that, you have Meta, Minion, machine learning pipeline UI. So this is the user interface. This is the pipeline user interface component we are interested about. So because I'm running this cluster locally, all right, so I have to do a port forwarding to access this application, right? I have to do a port forwarding. Why is it so is it's like you can't directly, right, can't directly set up um a node port or a load balancer for Kubeflow components, for Kubeflow services, right? So for now, the only way you can access um, the UI, the Kubeflow, all right, is by performing what we call port forwarding, and meaning that you have to have a local environment. All right. So if you're using EKS, all right, EKS, so it means I have to connect my EKS from my local machine, right? Then I'll create a port forwarder for my pipelines UI service, right? So now everything you need is on this same page. Just scroll to the bottom. Look at it now. Once you've run all of these now, run the following to port forward the Kubeflow Pipelines user interface. Okay, now all we need to do, just copy everything. Now, kubectl port forward in namespace Kubeflow. The service name is ML Pipeline UI. You can see it here. Service name is what? ML Pipeline UI. Okay, then your port, you can say any port number here, right? But since 8080 is free for me, I'm using 8080, right? So copy all of this, copy, come to your terminal and paste it. Once I paste it, I'm going to hit enter. I will hit enter. Now once I hit enter, you can see now um this service is now listening on port 8080 on my local host. All right, local host. So I'll now go to my browser. If I go to my browser, I type localhost column 8080. Once I hit enter, I should have my pipeline UI. Now guys, one thing I will tell you, all right, one thing I will tell you, right, while installing what's it called, while installing this, it takes almost 10 minutes. So you have to be patient, and it takes time for these services to be ready. For these services to be ready, it takes time for those services to be what? To be ready. Okay? To be ready. So you'll be seeing crash loop back off, right? Because there are some services that are dependent on other services. So if those services are not up yet, right, the other services will not come up. All right. So you just need to be patient and wait for about 10 minutes. Then all of these services will be what? Will be in a ready state, right? To be in a ready state. So why is this guy not coming up? What is it doing? Well, let me open incognito. Localhost port 8080. Oh, um, why, it's taking a little time. Let me clear my cache. Let me terminate it. Okay, okay. It's now up. It's up now. It's now up. All right. So you can see this is the pipeline component, right? The pipeline component comes with the pipeline. This component, it comes with experiments. It comes with runs, right? So like I said in our demo, we will be doing what? we've seen how. Oh, sorry, I have low battery. 1 second, guys, please. 1 second. All right, guys. Apologies, I'm back. All right. As you can see, okay, um, we've fulfilled almost all of these items. We installed kubectl. We showed us how to install Chocolatey, right? With Chocolatey, you can set up what's it called? You can install your Kubernetes cluster, which is kind, right? After that, then on your cluster, you can now install your Kubeflow pipeline component, all right? Once that has been installed, then we want to write the last stage, right? A simple Kubeflow pipeline for addition and subtraction. So for that, we will be making use of um, um, a tool, a utility called Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook. Now on my system, on my Windows machine, I have installed what we call Anaconda. I have installed Anaconda. I have installed Anaconda. Anaconda. All right. So maybe in my next video, I'm going to put us through how to set up your machine learning environment, right? Tools that you need to start developing models, training models. All right. All right. So Anaconda comes with a whole, is a suite. It's a suite of data, machine learning, AI utility. All right. It's a suite. It's a suite of machine learning, data engineering, data science. Let me put it as data. Um, it's a suite of all of these libraries, right? Libraries. All right. So within Anaconda, you have Jupyter Notebook. So it was easier for me. All right. So once you install your once you install your Anaconda, let me close this. Let me quit. Yes, quit. So once you install Anaconda, you can come to your system and type for Anaconda Navigator. So this is my Anaconda Navigator. So installing Anaconda is easy as well, guys. It's easy on Windows. So all you need to do, go to Google and type Anaconda installation Windows. Install Windows. Install Windows. Installing Anaconda distribution. Right click, open a new tab. Is ABC, guys, because it is an exe. So let's scroll. What are you installing for Windows? This is a Windows installation. All right. Then are you installing it? Are you installing it as a command prompt? Right? Or are you installing it as a PowerShell? Right? So this, what this thing will do is, if it's command prompt, you copy. Let's copy. Let's see what is there. Like I said, I've already installed it, guys. So let me open it in let me open what's let me paste that. So you can see it calls this and it's download the executable. Are you seeing it? It downloads the executable to your what? To your download folder. Now you now go to your download folder to double click on this executable. I think I have it in my download folder. Let's check my download folder briefly, guys. Let's check my download folder. Here's my download folder, and I have my Anaconda. So this is my executable. Here is my executable. So just double click it and you start the installation. So I don't want to start the installation because I already have um I already have Anaconda, right? So once you have Anaconda, this means it's trying to upgrade. I don't want that. So once you have Anaconda, you come to your once it's fully installed, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to install Anaconda. Once it's installed, you come to your start page and type Anaconda Navigator. So here it is. So under Anaconda Navigator, you're gonna have a whole lot of tools, guys. I'll show you. I'll show us a whole lot of tools. It's coming up. So here it is. It's initializing. All right. So as you can see, we have fulfilled almost every aspect. So we are at the last aspect, writing simple Kubeflow pipeline in our notebook. All right, in our notebook. So just addition and subtraction, and we are done. Addition and subtraction, and we are done. So it takes some time because anaconda is heavy, as the name implies. You know the anaconda snake now, right? How heavy, lengthy that snake is. The same way is how heavy this the tooling is. So it's asking me to upgrade. So I said no. No, remind me later. Yeah, maybe I'll do it some other time. Sorry guys. Apologies. Sorry. All right. So here is the Anaconda Navigator. So Anaconda Navigator comes with a whole lot of tools. There is PyCharm, there is an Anaconda AI, Anaconda Toolbox, Anaconda Cloud Notebooks, a whole lot. You can launch your VS Code from here, Edu Blocks, Spider, Qt Console, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, Oracle, a whole lot, guys. A whole lot. All right. So what I'm interested in here is just my what? Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter what? Notebook. So I can launch, click on launch. So click on launch. So once I click on launch, it will automatically open up Jupyter Notebook on my browser. So let's minimize this, guys. Let's wait for it. It should do that automatically. All right, so it's now redirecting to my browser. All right. So also, I'll have a separate video on Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Notebook, a separate video how to use Jupyter Notebook. But for today, please bear with us. Right. So here we have. So I'll go to my far right, new. You can see the new button here. Click on new. I hope I'm still recording. Yeah. So click on the new button and click on what? Your kernel. So these are different kernels. So I'll click on the Python kernel, right? So click on the Python kernel. So once I click on that, it opens up a new window, right? So this is my Jupyter notebook. So in here, I'm going to what? Write my simple pipeline, guys, simple pipeline. All right, so let's get started. So I'll go back to my Kubeflow pipeline. All right, so we've installed the pipeline. So let's go to getting started. So under getting started, let's look at what we have. All right, so look at this now. Great. Now Kubeflow has a Python library called KFP, Kubeflow Pipeline. If you need to use Kubeflow Pipeline, so you need to install this library, right? You run the command pip install KFP. Now let's do that quickly. So I'll come over here in my notebook. I'll say pip install. All right. So your notebook, you can actually run Linux commands. How? Let me show us. So I'll say pwd is a Linux command. Now this is run. Run a cell. So this is a cell. Run a cell. It shows me where I am, my location. You can see pwd is giving me this. So if I now say ls-l, that lists the content of the current directory. I click this. It says this is a window. It's a Windows machine, fine or fan. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say dir arrow. All right. For Windows is dir arrow, right? Execute function dir arrow. So this dir arrow is taking this dir arrow as dir arrow is a function in Python as well. All right. So okay, let me say ls-l this directory. Let me see what happens. Oh. Let's say C, sorry, backward slash. Let's see that. Wow. All right. So you can see I can list the contents of the C folder. So the C directory. So these are the files in my what C directory. I can always change directory from here. I can still do a CD. I can say change directory. C column backward slash. Let's say program files. Program files. Right? Program files. All right. I can do like this, and let's run it. To run this, I'll run that cell, run command, play button, right? What is it? Program incorrect, syntax is incorrect. Let me remove this. Why is it okay? Let's just go. Let's run program files, right? So we've changed directory. So if I now say pwd, let's see what was there. Run cell. So you can see I'm now in what? Program files. C program files. All right. So this is the beauty of using what's it called? Using Jupyter Notebook. All right. Like I said, on a separate video, I'm going to do a video about understanding Jupyter Notebook. All right. Understanding Jupyter. So to delete these cells, I can select the cell and far right, I'll click on what? Delete. Click here, delete, select this and click on delete. Yeah, we are good now, right? So pip install, that's the first command here. So that's the first command. Where's that place? Getting started. Let me move it over here. Great. Pip install Kubeflow Pipeline. Pip install Kubeflow Pipeline. That's what KFP means. So I'll run this cell because I've done it before. All right, I've installed the Kubeflow pipeline. You can see now it's telling me that you need to restart blah 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 blah. Requirements already certified because I've already installed it before, so there's no need. All right, great guys. After this, then I need to now import what from Kubeflow. I'm importing a function called domain specific language, DSL, right? So DSL is domain specific language. That's what the meaning. So now, in writing Kubeflow pipelines, all right, you need to use a Python decorator. Now, this @ symbol you're seeing here is called Python decorator, right? So Python decorator. Let's look at what Python decorator is used for. Let's quickly, guys. I love using them. So you feel it with me. Python decorator. Decorators in Python, all right? So decorators in Python are a type of higher order functions because they take a function as input, modify it, and return a new function. So that's what this guy is doing, right? Is a higher order function. So you have to say at DSL is a higher order function dot component, right? Dot component. Now within this declaration, right? I need to now define my component. I need to use the dev keyword, right, to define my function. You can see this function name here is hello, right? And the parameter I'm going to pass to this function accepts a single parameter. The parameter name is what? Name. And the type, the data type of the parameter is what? Is string. And what is this function going to return? It's going to return what? It's going to return a string. All right? So that's what it means. Okay? Great. So now this is the other hello text. All right? Hello, your name. Right? Now print hello text. Print hello text. Return what? Hello text. So this is the function definition. All right? Now you now need to use a decorator, right, to define the pipeline. Okay? Define the pipeline. So in the pipeline, you'll be what? You'll be calling the function. Be what? calling what? Calling the function. Okay? We're calling what? The function. Now, define your pipeline. Recipient is a string. It returns string. Hello tax. You call this function. Hello, call this function. The name is the recipient, right? Return what? Hello tax dot your output. Okay. Then once you're done with creating your pipeline, you need to compile the pipeline, meaning that you have to convert all these into a YAML file, a YAML file that is understandable by Kubeflow, right? A YAML file. So it is a YAML file that Kubeflow is going to deploy, right? You're going to deploy in your UI, right? In your UI. So let's go back there. Let's still explain. Now you can now compile the pipeline to YAML with the Kubeflow Pipeline SDK domain specific language. DSL stands for what? Domain specific language. Now we now need to what? Import this function compiler from Kubeflow. Import compiler. Now there are a lot, like I said, notebook will be a separate class. All right. Now I can comfortably say import Kubeflow pipeline. Now within this library, this module, there are a lot of functions within this module, right? So now if I need to check the functions that in this library, I'm going to use a Python function called directory, dir. Let's look at that. So if I run this cell, I've run this cell now. This cell is running. Once you see asterisk here, it shows that it's running. So I've run that cell now. Now I can now print all the functions that are in this module. So I'll say print function directory of what? KFP. Now I'm importing this module. So then in this module, there are lots of functions. So I want to see all the functions in this module. So this is the process to do that. And let's run it. So you can see now, you can see we have so many ones. You can see we have compiler here. There's compiler here. There's DSL, domain specific language. There's local. There's operating system. There's pipeline spec. There's sys. There's one. So all of these you see, they are functions within what? Within this module, right? So like I said, notebook will be a separate video. Jupyter notebook, I will do a separate video on so that you'll be very comfortable and understand Jupyter notebook to the latter, right? To the latter, guys, right? So let's continue. So great. So this is where you're compiling. You're calling the what? You're importing the compiler function, right? Now you're not using the compiler, right, to create a pipeline. Compiler dot compile. Compile what? Compile this pipeline. What's the pipeline? The pipeline function. This is the pipeline function. Now you're converting this pipeline into a what? A YAML file. So once you run this stage is going to create a file called what? Pipeline.yaml. It is this pipeline.yaml you now deploy on your what? On your Kubeflow pipeline UI. All right. So that being said, guys, let's now do something real. Right. So I'll copy this as a baseline. I'll copy this as a baseline. Right. I'll copy all of this as a baseline. So copy. Right. Come over here. So I'll remove this section and I'll add a new cell. So this is insert a cell below. That is what this icon is. It insert a cell below. I'll paste that. All right. So great. So yeah, I am import from KFP. I'm importing DSL because I will be using what? The DSL what? Function. All right. Method. They call it method. Right. So now to start using components, you say at DSL dot components. Now, like I said, our exercise for today is what? Addition, subtraction, and maybe multiplication. Let's add multiplication as well. All right. So I'll come here. I'll say add. Let's say add. Add. What am I adding? I'm adding a number. A, right? A is an integer, comma. I'm also adding B. B is also an integer, all right? B is an integer. So what is this output going to return? This output is going to return an integer. Take note, guys. It's going to return what? And what? An integer. Okay. Now, the return, let me remove this part. Very simple, guys. Very simple. Simple function. So what is it going to return? It's going to return what? A plus B. A plus B. That's all. Now, I'll copy this. I'll do the same thing. Copy all of this. Copy. And I'll paste. So this will be what? Subtraction. Minus. To return this. And then this will be C. C. CD. CD. And sorry guys, apologies, man. So this will be what? Subtraction. Subtraction. Then the last but not the least, so returning that, the last but not the least is multiplication. So in multiplication, I'll be multiplying the output of subtraction and addition. All right. So this, great. All right. Then this will be add. So add, I'm calling add. I'm taking add as an input. All right. I'm taking add as a what? As an input. Okay. Okay, sorry. Let me do like this. Let's say e integer f integer, right? So in this component, all right, I'm returning the multiplication of what? Multiplication of e and f. E multiplied by what? By f. Now, what will be the function? Function will be what? Mod. All right, great. So once that has been done, now I need to define the pipeline. So what's going to happen in the pipeline? So I will call this a pipeline. I'll call my pipeline. So I'll say, what should I call it? Um, 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 maths underscore pipeline or arithmetic. Let me say arith. Arith underscore pipeline, all right? Simple arithmetic underscore pipeline. So this pipeline, all right, accepts different parameters, all right? It accepts different parameters. Parameters, I have A, all right? A is going to int. So int value is 1, all right? I can say any value. Let me say 3. So my A value is 3. My B integer is 4. Okay, just like that. C, so let's define all of that. C, I could say C, it's an integer as well, so the value is maybe 5. Then D, integer is maybe 6. Then all right, so now I'll be returning. Okay, now what will this function be returning? To be returning what? An integer, right? So I'm passing this add and subtract. This add and these are subtract the values, all right? Great, the values. So now within this function now, what will be my task, right? You can see hello task. So my addition task. So my addition task, my add task will be, right? Will be your function. So you call your function. I'm calling my function my addition function. All right. Add what? Add A equals A and B equals B. Now in here, A is 3. So you can see in this function now, I'm calling the addition function. So I'm now saying that A is an integer. A is A, and A here is what? 3. Right? The same thing goes with B. B is an integer. So I'm passing B to be what? 4, right? So that's it. So B is B. That's for our what? Add function. Sorry, our add tax. I'll do the same thing for, oh, sorry. I'll do the same thing for subtract. Copy, copy, paste. So this will D is D, D is D, and C is C, C is C. So this will be sub, calling your function sub. Then finally, I'm returning multiplication. So multiplication will be control V. So multiplication will be calling the add task and the subtract task. So this will be my multiplication, right? So I'll say mol of so my e is what? Sub is the sub is the add task dot output. So add underscore tax dot the output. So the output of my this function, output of this function, right, will be passed towards my multiplication, right? The output of that will be passed towards my what? Multiplication. E is this, comma, then F is subtract, right? Sub underscore tax, okay? Dot what? The output. Great. Now, finally, we're going to return what? Mol, right? We're going to now return, finally, we'll return this function, return what? Mol underscore tax, return mol underscore tax dot output. All right. So we want to return the multiplication. So this function returns, yeah, okay, this pipeline function. So we are done, guys. All right. So if everything goes well, let's now what? Let's execute this cell. All right. But let's do a revamp. All right. Let's go through the process one more time. All right. So we have the DSL component. Right. Every function must have a DSL component. Okay. So a DSL component will define our function. Our function is addition. This addition accepts two parameters, accepts A and B, and the type is integers. And what is going to return? Is going to return what? An integer. Same thing is subtraction, multiplication. Then finally is a pipeline, right? Now we are now putting everything together, right? We are putting both the calling the addition function, subtraction function, and multiplication function, right? So we will create a task for the addition function. So you create a task. So this is the task. It will call the addition function. The subtraction task will call the subtraction function. The multiplication task will call the multiplication function, right? So in the multiplication function, I'm using the add task as a subtask as multiplication. So whatever is this output, I'm passing it as a value to E and F, right? So E and F, because you can see from here, we don't have E and F, right? We can still pass E and F here, right? Can still pass E and F here, right? So that's all. So let's run this cell. So I'll come here, run this cell. So if everything goes well, we should have, right? So what's the same? So DSL is not defined. So it's saying DSL is not defined. So maybe we've not run this. Let's run this cell. Let's run this cell. Sorry, this cell. Run this cell. Cell has been run. Now let's rerun this cell now. Run this cell. All right. So now it's now okay now, right? Because we didn't run this cell because we imported the method, and that method was being used here, right? DSL, but this section was not seeing that method, all right? Since we are using it, so we have to what? Run the cell, all right? Great. So we are having this is a warning because by default, um our pipeline, this pipeline makes use of a base image of Python 3.9. All right, it uses Python 3.9. So if you want to convert this base image, right, this your pipeline from the default Python 3.9 to maybe Python to use Python 3.10 or something else, you define a base image. So there's a way a base image is defined. Um, let me check interfaces. No. All right. So maybe that will be a different to be a different what's it called? A different video entirely, which I will talk about a base image. All right. I might talk about a base image. Okay. But for now, let's continue with what we have. Okay. So I can just google it. I can say KFL, KFP base image, right? KFP component base image. Let's look at that, right? Now, containerized Python component. So when you want to containerize a Python component, you use a base image. So where's that base image? So I'll click on lightweight Python component. So it uses a lightweight Python component. Well, now look at this now. This is where you define the image that your pipeline would make use of. Because by default, this pipeline is using Python 3.9. I know Python 3.9 is obsolete. We now have Python 3.12, right? So if you want your pipeline to make use of a base image, let's say 3.11, you can define it. Let's try it and see. So that let's try this stuff and see. Let's copy that. So come here and let me add this at the top. So I'm using a base image of Python 3.11. All right. So let's see. So right, if this error will continue. So let's see that staying call. It's trying to exit. All right. So let's run the cell. Let's run the cell and see what happens. Okay. So our issue is now something else. Okay. Maybe we don't have that Python 3.11 installed. So what we have is maybe Python. Let me check my Python version. So I could open PowerShell. Or I can do it from here. I can do it from here. So I can say on this cell, I'll say, let me insert a new cell. Insert a new cell. So I can say Python version. Python version. So let me run the cell. Python dash dash version. Dash dash version. Python 3. Python 3 because that's Python 3. Python 3 version. Python 3 version. Dash V. Dash V. Why am I not having that error? Okay, let me just run this directly. Oh, Python is not defined. Wait, let me bring up my PowerShell, and so if I execute, just one sec, guys. Python version, or let me just run Python 3. So this should bring no. Python was not found. Don't have Python here. Okay, my Python is managed via Anaconda. All right, but I should have gotten the Python. So notwithstanding, okay, notwithstanding. So by default, it uses 3.9. All right. use 3.9 by default. So let's remove this line entirely. That's the base image, right? That's the base image. So let's rerun our cell. So that's okay. That's okay. Right? That's okay. Fine. So now we've run that cell. We've run the cell. The next thing we need to do now, we need to compile the pipeline. Now, compiling the pipeline, we need to convert the pipeline into a YAML file. So this is what this section is doing. So I'll call this compiler. I'll say from KPF, right? From KPF, right? From KPF, I can do it from here. From KPF, import compiler. So I'll also run this cell, right? That cell has been run. This cell has been run. Then finally, I need to bring in my what? My compiler function. So copy that, bring it here, and paste it, right? So my pipeline, I can call it, you can give it any name, your YAML file. So let me just call it pipeline, right? Pipeline. So I'll run this. So once I run this cell, it will automatically create a file called pipeline.yaml. So let's run that. Sorry, pipeline, hello pipeline is not defined. So your pipeline is arith pipeline, all right? So that's the name of your pipeline. So replace it with this, right? Replace it there, arith pipeline. Now let's run the cell. Run the cell. So what's it saying? Permission error. Permission error. All right. Let's arith. Why am I having this permission error? So okay. Let's wait. Why? Wait, let me see where I am. Create a new cell above or below. Let me see my location, PWD. PWD. All right. Run this cell. Program files. All right. So I need to change this directory. I need to change directory. Above, change directory to what did we have before? Change directory to downloads. All right, let me go to downloads. So my downloads will be I think that's why I'm having this error. PowerShell. PowerShell. So my downloads will be C users Frank downloads. All right, great. So change directory to this path. Change directory to this path. Okay, change directory to that path. Let's paste it. Paste. So run that cell. Run that cell. I've changed directory. All right. So let's run this pipeline one more time. It's like I don't have permission. So you can see it was trying to write this file into this location. But now that I've changed the directory to where I have permission, I could write into downloads. All right. So if I now go to my downloads folder, I should see this arithpipe.yaml. So come to downloads. You can see now this is your YAML file, right? This is your YAML file. All right. So if I right click and open this with the notepad, open with the notepad, let's see the content of this file. All right. These are the pipeline specifics. All right. But we'll get to see all of this when we upload this pipeline, this YAML into our Kubeflow pipeline. So let's do that right away. Right. So this file now is in my download folder. So I'll now go to my Kubeflow UI. Where's my Kubeflow UI? This is my Kubeflow UI. I'll go to pipelines, right? Come to pipelines. Now I'll upload the pipeline. Upload the pipeline. Now what am I doing? I'm creating a new pipeline. So I can give it a name. I can call it arithmetic. Arithmetic PL pipeline, right? Can give description. Description is optional. Now, what am I doing? I'm uploading the file, right? Come to upload the file, choose the file, right? So I'll go to my downloads folder, and here's my pipeline. I'll open it up. That's it. That's it, guys. Now click on what create. So once I click on create, a pipeline has been created. So this thing is called a DAC. It's called I this is your graph. So you can see my pipeline has automatically created a graph from the YAML file. From the YAML file, you can see these are my functions, my add function, my sub function, and my multiplication what function. So based on these um graph or my pipeline, I'm going to create an experiment, right? I'll go to experiment. So I'll create a new experiment. Click on create experiment. So my experiment, I'll give it arith xp, right? Next. So the moment I click on next, my arith xp will take me to run. So I need to run the pipeline, right? I need to run the pipeline. So I'll create a run, right? I'll create a run. So I'll give it a pipeline. It's asking me to choose a pipeline. So come here, click on your pipeline. The pipeline is what? Arithmetic PL. Use this pipeline. So once I do that, to populate the details of the pipeline, right? So you can give expressions. To also populate what? The experiments from the pipeline. That's all, guys. Now, what is your runoff? You can see now my run parameters, those are my function parameters. You can see they are now displaying. A is an integer, the value is 3. B is an integer, value is 4. C is 5, and D is 6. So if I go back to my notebook, you can see that A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, D is 6, right? So it's displaying all of those things there. So I can close some of these guys. That's it. So I need to start the run. So right, I need to start the run. So once I click start the run, it will now try to run this pipeline. It's trying to execute this pipeline, right? So we have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, right? Don't worry, it's coming up. Cannot get MD object from metadata. Don't worry, it's coming up. So your runs is trying to run the pipeline, run off your arithmetic pipeline. So it takes some time, guys. So let's just wait. Once it's done, we'll see the output. So you can click on this graph, addition. So far, there are no inputs. There are no there's nothing content. There are no content to display. It takes some time. Tax dictates nothing. Log, there are no log. Let's go back to input, right? So it's trying to come up. So let's just wait for some time. It takes some time, guys. All right. So I hope we're still recording. Yeah, we are still recording. Okay. Okay. So it's done with this. Let's see. Now you can see now it has populated the input parameters. The input parameters for addition is A is 3, B is 4. The output is not there yet. So the output will come when these multiplication. Now let's check now. Let's check. The output is now 7. It has successfully run the addition function. All right. So 3 plus 4, the output is 7. Right? Great. Now subtraction. 5 minus 6, the output is what? Minus 1. Now, what is multiplication? Let's look at multiplication will be the output of addition given to E, the output of subtraction given to F. So 7 times minus 1, the output will be what? Minus 7. So let's look at this, guys. Let's look at the tax details. Here are the tax details. The tax ID is tax add, tax name is addition, status is completed, it was created on this day, finish at this time, volume month, no volume, logs. So these are the logs, all right? So okay, so great. So yeah, so let's look at multiplication is completed. Let's check multiplication. So for the multiplication, we have the task can see 7 times minus 1 is what? Minus 7. So far so good, guys. So you can see how we've been able to implement a specific function component, which is the Kubeflow component. All of these is running on my what? Kubernetes cluster. Guys, all of this is running on my Kubernetes cluster. Let's check it out. Right? Let's check it out. Let me open PowerPoint one more time. I see PowerPoint, PowerShell. All of these is running on my Kubernetes cluster. Now let's check kubectl get pod in namespace Kubeflow. Now you can see here you can see now these jobs they've run completely. All right, you can see the arithmetic pipeline is now completed. I didn't mean I knew I would have come here to why it was still in the run phase. I would have come to show you the process, right? So it creates a pod. Once it's finished creating that pod, and once the process is completed, it will now terminate. It will show you the status what completed. It creates a job. Once it's finished creating that job, it now show you what the status will now be what completed. I would have shown you this process, man. I, I would have shown you guys. I would have shown you. So this is the beauty, man. There's nothing about Kubeflow, but it's at first it looks so challenging. All right, it looks so what challenging. But when you follow this video, take your time. All right, follow this video step by step. And if there is any aspect of this video that you don't understand, please don't fail to reach out to me either on my LinkedIn, or this is my LinkedIn, guys. All right, here's my LinkedIn. Reach out to me on my LinkedIn or drop a message on the video channel on YouTube. So this is my LinkedIn, guys. Lake Bossy Frank is my name. All right, Lake Bossy Frank is my name, and I am an MLOps engineer. All right, I am an MLOps engineer. So, guys, this is it, guys. This is Kubeflow Pipeline. So, we've deployed a machine learning workload into our Kubernetes cluster. That being said, guys, I want to bring this session to a close. All right. Like I said, if you have query, please reach out, because this technology, this is something very strange. All right. It's very strange. And this is the future. This is the future. MLOps is the future. So far, so good, guys. We've been able to wrap up all that we started with. All right. All that we started with. So thank you, guys. Thank you. And see you in my next video. Thank you and have a wonderful day.